Alright, so let's talk about drop downs in this lecture. If you remember, we have skipped explaining drop down in our form submission video, isn't it? So I have not explained you how to handle this drop down. Let's see that now. So right click, inspect. So Selenium guys have provided one good API for us if you want to handle drop down. You see that when you spy, the tag what you can see here is select. So for most of the drop downs, if it is static, when I say static, that means options are fixed. Okay, and there are some drop downs which are auto suggestive. Let me explain you. I'll take makemytrip.com or take any flight website. So this drop down here do not have static options. Options display here based upon what you enter. So now if I enter DEL, you see that regarding that DEL I am getting suggestions. So this is like auto suggestive dynamic drop down. And here options are fixed. That's why we say it as a static drop down. And for this static drop down in Selenium WebDriver, you have a class called select where you can use that to handle this options present in this drop down. So let me explain you. For that I will go back to my previous Python test where we are talking about locators. So in this I would actually bring that drop down code in between. Right, it comes after checkbox, so I'll write it here. So there is a class exposed by Selenium WebDriver to handle this drop down for static. That class name is select. You have to create object for that select class so that you can use all the methods present in that select class. Basically this select class provides the methods. Select class provide the methods to handle the options in dropdown. So that is the basic concept. Now if you want to use the methods present in this select class, you know that you have to create object of that class. So how to create object? You need to simply call select and that's it. And you can say drop down as your object name. If you are not aware of how to create object in Python classes, please make sure you complete my Python basics section which I taught before you watch this section. Okay, now move your cursor and that will actually ask you to import one WebDriver select package. It's SCAPS, I think, I'm not sure. Import this name, yeah, this one. Selenium WebDriver support.select.select. Perfect. Now this object will now help you to automate and handle that options. But how would you tell to your select class that this is my drop down? Okay, so this select class is now ready to handle drop down. But where is the drop down? That information we did not give to this select class. How will select class will know magically that this is your drop down? That won't happen, right? For that reason, you have to pass the locator as an argument into this select class. Okay, so when you are here, you have ID, right? Now carefully copy this ID and then inside this select class argument, you have to say driver dot find element by ID and pass that locator so that now your select class have knowledge about what drop down I need to handle. Okay, now you created object dot. You see that these are different options you have. You can select and deselect. Now if you want to select by visible text, now these three are the methods I will try to explain you now. Select by visible text is nothing but you can select option with the text whatever you are seeing. By default male is selected. If you want to select female, this is the visible text what you can see on the screen, right? So you can say female, so that female option will be selected. That's it. You need not write any code, just use this method, select by visible text. Similarly, you can select option based upon index. At 0th index, male is present, at first index, female is present. So this step will actually select female, right? I want to select back the male index, so I will simply pass 0, so that it actually selects 0 index. Okay. Now there is another method called dropdown dot select by value. When you say select by value, then if you have value attribute defined here, then you can pass that. Now for example, there is no value attribute here, but for some select drop downs you will have something like option value equals to some male or m, whatever it is. You can use that value, whatever you see as an attribute for your options, and pass that value of that attribute. Okay. Now here it's like option male equals to female, right? Let me show how that it displays. You will see something like this, option value equals to, either it could be male again or some m, something like this. Yeah, if you see your option with this HTML property, then you can use this m if you want to select male, and you can say select by value m, so that that particular option will be selected. All right, so that's how you can select the options present in the drop down. But make sure that if you want to use this select class, then tag name should be select, then only you can use this select class. If tag name is some another div, or if this drop down is something different without having the select class, select tag here, then you just cannot use select class to handle all these methods. But now we have that, so not a problem. All right, so it's showing an error. Let me, okay, I have to start from the beginning. Code indentation will be taken very seriously, so you have to follow all this procedure. Nice. So I'll run this test. First it has to select female, and it has to select back the male again, because we are asking to hit 0th index. Run locators. So this is how you handle static drop downs in WebDriver using Python. Okay, you see that it's very fast. It selected female and it selected male back. If you want to see how it happened, you can also debug your test. How to debug? It's very simple. Put a breakpoint here, and that's it, and run this test in this mode. You see that this is the debug mode, so that your test will stop at that specific point, and then step by step you can see the execution. Okay, so now you are at this point. Now if you want to run only one step at a time, select this option so that it will execute this and go to next step. Now come back. You see that female is selected. So in this way you can debug and verify your execution step by step. If something goes wrong, you can actually see all the variables what all declared here to see why things are going wrong way. Now your execution is here. If you want to move ahead, then give one more step over so that it will go to next step. So this icon F8 will go step by step. Again, male is selected back. Okay, that's the concept. And now if you want to resume execution without doing step by step, because you have seen your actual validation, right? And you are good now, and you don't want to debug further. You just want to run this test as normal. Then you can use this icon. So this will actually resume your execution and stop debugging, resume program. Okay, it quickly does that. But if you use this icon, it will do step by step. Perfect, execution is done, and now you understood how to handle drop downs. All right, in the next lecture I will bring the concept of assertions, and I will also tell why they are important to use in your test cases. Right? Thank you.